Burekas. Hi guys, we're going to make some burekas, very popular in Israel. Very similar to kind of puff pastry. Difference is we start the regular dough with some salsa water. This helps to give it a little puff and some vinegar. So in here I've got 3 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I need 2 tablespoons of salt. I put 1 in already. 1/4 cup of white wine vinegar. 1 1/4 cups of salsa water. You can just use soda water, it's fine. And then we have the butter at room temp. There's no butter incorporated into the original dough. And then I'll show you what to do with that. We're going to mix the dough and we're going to rest it for 30 minutes. So mix it in a bowl till it all comes together. And then we get it onto the surface. Baby everything off the spat and just start bringing it together. It should start out fairly tacky. Dust the flour. On the hands. We don't want to work the gluten too much at this point. We're just trying to bring the dough together a little. So if you look at it, you can see it's quite rough. It's a bit bubbly. That's what we're looking for. Okay? Okay, so now we're ready. We're going to wrap him up. Night. See you in 30. Alright guys, the bureka dough is chilled nicely. Looks good. We're going to dust the surface lightly with the flour, not too much. What's important when we start this part is we just manipulate the dough out a little bit here, yeah? And what we're looking to do is have a rectangular shape. So it's always important we start with a nice rectangle. And then just gently with the dough, roll it, okay? At this point I do a 1/4 turn or 90 degrees. I just have a bit of emphasis on the corners at this point. Make sure there's always a little flour underneath each time you turn it, just so it doesn't stick to the bench. So what we're looking for is about 20 by 19 centimeters we're looking for. Just use your tape to measure it at this point and then just pull the edges out a little bit. This will help us to get more even layers into the dough, okay? And I don't want too much flour in between the layers. We're gonna add half of our softened butter. So that's the one we left out earlier. And we're gonna put it on the bottom third of the pastry. We're just gonna spread it very gently with a spoon. It's gonna be a nice thick layer. So it's important to leave a gap this side, and underneath, just so we spread it out nice and even. And the next half of the butter, we add tomorrow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold that piece over like that. We're going to push down, and we're going to take this piece and fold that piece over. We're going to just adjust it slightly, tuck it in. That's it. 1 wrap, 2 wrap, over and over on the tray into the fridge. That's going to be for about 24 hours. See you tomorrow. Afternoon guys, so the bureka dough's been in the fridge overnight. I've had a nice run this morning, got my shackles off from quarantine. All I did with the dough last night is I just folded it over, so one on top of each other. So if it's lengthways like that, you take the top to the bottom and make it nice square like this, okay? Just like that, just so we start to build the layers. And all we're gonna do now is we're gonna roll it out gently. At this point, don't be too rough with the dough because it will break, okay? I'm gonna just roll it into a bit more of a square, like that. So I've got a nice square. There's a couple of patches of butter, but that's okay because we got the remainder butter that we had from yesterday. We're gonna take that so it's nice and soft. Remember to leave it at room temperature so it's easier for you to work with. And now we can just spread this nice and even, okay? At this point, I'm gonna cover 2/3 of the dough. Remember to leave the edges nice and clear. Up, down, and back over. And 1 more fold, nice and square. 20 minutes and we'll come back to that. We don't want the butter to set too much now, okay? So a quick roll out like that. Try and keep it nice and together, okay? I'm gonna put a bit more pressure onto this side just so we get a bit more of a square. And then we're gonna go for it again. 1 more fold, like so. 1 more fold, like so. So we get them to that point, just tuck the edges in. 10 minutes in the fridge, and then we'll bring it back out to rolling again, okay? Your dough's gonna smell like vinegar, but don't worry about that. That's what we want, okay? Each time you put it in the fridge, it's gonna get a little more sticky as well, okay? Just a little bit of flour on the surface, nothing too crazy. We don't want to add to the layers. Notice what I've done. So where the layers are, you can see the layers there. I've pulled it out like that. We're now gonna roll it, and then the next time we roll it, we're gonna roll it like this. So we're always incorporating the layers evenly. Very important, that part. So I'm gonna start by layering it down a little bit like this. Then we're gonna go a little more flour, and then I'm gonna roll up, just so we make more of a sheet. It's important that we always keep the flour and we can move the dough like that on the surface. Very important. So then when we're rolling it, the butter's not gonna stick to the surface and rip the dough, yeah? Again, nice little roll out. And this time I'm gonna fold the layers in this way, okay? We had the layers facing at the top. Now that part is there, okay? That's very important to remember, guys, all right? Quick little roll, just to stick it all together. Back to the fridge. It's about probably, I would say 10 minutes between each layer, yeah? Back he goes. Folds to the top, and off we go again, okay? This is the exciting part for me because we're getting close to eating homemade burekas. There's nothing better than fresh out the oven, okay? I love the smell of the dough at this point. I can smell the vinegar. I'm gonna go a bit thinner this time and a bit bigger. The reason being is because I wanna spread the butter as much as possible now. So we're gonna go nice and big, okay? Just be careful at this point because your butter will be cold, okay? So if you go a bit aggressive, what you're gonna find is your butter's gonna come through the dough. It's probably gonna happen, which is fine. A bit gentle with the dough, okay? And again, remember, it's important that it's all the same thickness. Joints facing me here. I'm gonna go this side first, nice neat edge. This side again. So we're just gonna tuck him away to bed. And then we get ready for the final roll. 30 minutes and away we go, okay? So Burekas, final fold before we stuff and bake. I'm gonna go this side, all right? Because this is the final layer, I'm gonna go a bit thinner again. The more you roll it out, just a little bit more flour every time. Just feel the edges that you've got no air pockets as well, that's also important. Then, top into bottom, a little stretch out, a little fold over. This is going in the fridge overnight, ready for the morning. Final stage. Now we're gonna roll, stuff and bake, okay? Okay, so when I get it to here, I'm just gonna take the rolling pin and I'm gonna take off the edges of the dough, okay? We need to make some squares into threes, I think. Looking at this dough, yeah. 1. What do we need? We need a little bit of egg wash. Pack him in. With the dough, I'm just gonna stretch each square out just a little bit by hand. So then what I'm gonna do is take some cheese and pop it in the middle. Generous amount, yeah. We want some of the cheese to leak out after the baking. It looks nice. Fold it over. Don't worry if a bit of cheese falls out. It's okay, nothing to panic about. A little pinch, just to the edges like that. I don't want too much of a seal. It's very traditional that a bit of the cheese falls out and I like it on the plate. It looks good. A little brush with the egg mix and then repeat, okay? Okay, so I've got everything egg washed now. And then lots and lots of sesame seeds, okay? It's gonna add a nice savouriness to it. And the sesame is gonna go really well with the cheese, okay guys? Okay, I'm gonna put these in the oven for around about 17 to 25 minutes, it depends. I've set my oven for 375 Fahrenheit, and we're gonna pop them in, okay? When we do it, I always layer it between a couple of sheets of parchment paper. We can take out as much as we want and we don't have to defrost the whole amount. And the beauty of this is you can take it out, probably 10 minutes later, the dough's defrosted, you've got a nice filling made, and you're organised, ready to go, okay? Don't wrap it too tight, because you'll move the paper, yeah? The trick is to wrap it so the paper doesn't move at all, so the paper still stays the same size, okay? And then just straight in the freezer. And that's it, you can come back and enjoy it whenever you want then. Easy, peasy. It's been about 20 minutes in the oven. We're gonna just start plating, all right guys? We've got some of the cheese oozing. It's melted nicely. They're a bit bigger than your average bureka, but I'm a bit hungry, so I want more. And if you look at the dough, you can see some really nice layers in it, okay? That's what we're trying to achieve, all right? I showed you how to make these the other day. There's a reason why we made these, because we're gonna eat them. Never, ever, ever put your hand in the pickle jar, your finger, anything like that, okay? Always a utensil. Okay, I'm gonna cut them straight down the middle, okay? Like that, look at that. Delicious. Burekas. Mushlam. I'm gonna eat. Bye.